let's talk about the last topic here on this year, and that's the wide receiver position. Better or worse in 2024? As we got the Malik Nabers there on that picture, and again, we kind of signify with our pictures what we think here. And listen, if you think otherwise, you're crazy. If you think it's not a better group, we already went over the beginning of the show the comparison of what we had in 2022, which was basically a pile of shit at the wide receiver position. You look a couple now, of
nuggets in there.
Even at last year, you didn't have. You had Darius Slayton, and we're talking wide receivers. I'm not including Darren Waller, even though we already know he might even come back. You got Darius Slayton. You have Wan'Dale Robinson at his 500 yards, so the 700 and the 500. You get Hyatt with 300, and then Hodgins with 200, and then Paris Campbell with 100. Like, that's not good, guys.
No.
Now, obviously, part of it is the fact that we had horrible quarterback play, but we had 3,500 yards passing last year, guys. What we did have, though, as well, is you had 552 of that going to Waller. May not go that way this year.
No.
You had 280 yards going over to Saquon Barkley. I think Devin Singletary will probably do around 200 yards. Probably do a little bit less, but not that far off.
Right, fair.
Barkley wasn't really highlighted for his receiving skills the last 2 seasons. So, you figure 600 to 700 yards now being reallocated to the wide receivers. Plus, you have a number one that you never had last year. And again, when your number one becomes your number one that you had becomes number two, your two you had becomes number three. It helps everybody all down the line at that point. Think about this. And again, I feel like I'm doing a love fest to Darius Slayton in this episode here to a certain degree, which I always do whenever I talk about him. I think very nicely of Darius Slayton. I'm a fan. But Darius Slayton has gone against number one corners basically most of his career and still put up 700 yards a season on a consistent clip. Imagine what he's going to do with second, third string corners.
Yeah, it's going to be impressive to see what he can do.
Yeah. Wan'Dale Robinson coming back off his injury. Going to be better. Having the number one. We haven't had it forever. And let's be very frank. I know he hasn't played a game in the NFL yet. So to call him a flat-out number one, I know it's a little ridiculous. You got to earn that. But even if Malik Nabers doesn't ball out in his rookie year, he's still going to command attention from the opposing defenses. They're 100%. Still going to be have fear, especially the first half of the season. Even if he's a complete bust, they'll still have fear of him in the beginning. And that's going to help the rest of this group. This is definitely going to be a better wide receiver group than we had last year. That's for damn sure. And I'm excited to see what happens. I mean, if you think about it, here's the scary part. We basically upgraded Sterling Shepard with Malik Nabers. Basically what we did.
Yeah, and hopefully, he stays healthy.
Yeah.
And good job.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to Sterling Shepard. We've spoken very fondly about him as well. But yeah, he's not what he was.
No,
can't stay healthy. Had a lot of injuries. He's a free agent for a reason still, and that's a big upgrade. You go from a guy who had 57 receiving yards last year to a guy that we're expecting to do about 1,000. So I'm excited to see what this group does this year. As for damn sure, I'm excited to see it. This group has a ton of freaking potential, guys. This could be the difference of having an actually decent, wide receiver group here. That's for sure.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.